Is loading. Oh, now we live. Good. That was a great memory right there.
We on it.
We are live. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gentlemen of Crypto, episode 173. Today is Wednesday, May 23rd, and I'm King.
And I'm Bitcoin Zay, and we are here to bridge the gap between cryptocurrency and the community Monday through Friday at 10ish. As we see people rolling in. Mike, good morning. What's going on, Mike Outlaw? Gabriel, what's going on, brother? Hello. Hey, Tessa. We got our people on Facebook rolling in. Oh, yeah. Maurice Parks.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
I'm going on a safari later, so I'm just getting prepared. Got my hat on.
Oh, man. All right.
It's the best $10 I spent ever.
Too funny. As we wait for more people to roll into the chat box, who won the free Bitcoin yesterday? It was a lot of good comments, by the way, too.
Oh, yeah. A lot of great comments. Hard to choose. However, I kind of side with the Hayden Vision. I actually like his comments. Congratulations on winning that free Bitcoin. He actually said we should not go on TV.
I saw a few people say no. I saw a couple of yeses.
Absolutely. And he said we shouldn't go on TV. He said people like us need to be around for regular people to be able to see us. If we go to TV land, they'll basically edit it, our content. And also, too, pizza-wise, he was repping the Chicago pizza. I think everybody puts New York. Everybody says New York is good.
Yeah, everybody did have New York. I saw like 3 or 4 New York pizza comments.
I tend to think Chicago pizza deep dish is more lasagna-ish. However,
I love it. No, hold on.
I've had some good. I've had some good
Chicago
deep dish. Exactly, yes. But it's had, got a good.
Who doesn't like lasagna though?
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
I'm saying. It's not, but it's just a different type. I like crunchy better, but
I know Ramos from here too. I think Ramos from, but for those who've been to Detroit, go to Papa John's. I said Papa John's, not Papa John's. Pizzapopolis. Pizzapopolis is like a Chicago-based deep dish, but you can put like shrimp, lobster, and pepperoni in a deep dish pizza.
That's what I'm talking about.
You talk about a pie, people. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
All right. What's going on? Everybody else is coming in. Alex Daly. Oh, I'm gonna have to look at this to pronounce this. Stanimir Ivanov. Stanimir Ivanov. What's going on? Gabriel Hernandez, Sergeant Crypto Court. John Siebert is me, Boss Lady. Tonio, what's up? What's up? Fed the Realtor. Everybody's in here.
How we doing, people?
All right. To start off again, we are still having technical difficulties this week. Those won't be resolved until probably Friday. So until then, we won't have our roar. However, we have a Dino of the day.
Oh my goodness.
A new Dino. They keep coming. It's like whack-a-mole with these people.
Every time.
But today's Dino of the day is Federal Reserve's Kashkari, who ripped the cryptocurrency market, calling it, or he's quoted as saying, it has become a farce. Just by saying,
more creative.
Right?
More creative.
The words are amazing.
A farce.
Listen, if someone's calling anything a farce, I mean, you can assume they're a Dino. All right, well, it's a farce. Like, what are you talking about? But Neil Kashkari, and again, can you really trust a guy talking about crypto who has cash in his name?
I don't think you can.
I don't think you can. Neil Kashkari, the president of the Minneapolis Federal Reserve, slammed the cryptocurrency industry, saying it's become a farce due to unregulated chaos and escalating fraud. Since the traditional market has regulated chaos and it still escalates in fraud, I guess that isn't a farce. But he made these remarks at the Bay College in Escanaba, Michigan. Never heard of the place, so it really don't matter.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. On May 21st, actually, I'm not. Where he expressed dismay at the proliferation of scams in the crypto ecosystem. He basically said that it's clever that people came up with the crypto, but now it's being taken to ridiculous extremes. He even said the barrier to entry to creating a new cryptocurrency is zero, which is an issue. He said basically anybody can create a crypto. If you can dupe enough people into buying it, you become a billionaire. For one, to become a billionaire off your crypto, you have to dupe a lot of people.
Yeah,
a lot of people.
Yeah, and it's a lot more noble and a lot harder than getting people to do it at gunpoint. That's basically what you do with regular money. So if people are tricked into it with these scams and whatnot, I mean, like I said, that's why I like the Ken Bozak calling people out.
Right.
How some of the stuff we've done, some other people get scammers out here is self-regulatory. I mean, and people are doing it. It's just when people from the outside look in, they look at, of course, the bad stuff, and then they say that's the entire market and that it's getting out of control. Everything. No, out of control was 2015. Trust me, 2015 there was literally coins that their white paper was 3 pages long, and it was like, "What's up, guys? This is
we got a new coin."
I'm like, dude, y'all don't understand.
Well, no. Listen, to be honest, be out of control. What is a farce is 2008 of the United States government printing off billions of dollars of money that have nothing behind them or backing them, and then giving it to banks who in turn literally gave themselves billion-dollar bonuses. Like all of them did it. That's out of control.
That's out of control.
And another thing he mentioned, which again, they still don't get it. He was like, these things can be created out of thin air, out of nothing. Anybody can create one. The barrier of entry is low. Yes, that's correct. And that's what we like about it. I don't mind if an 8-year-old creates a new currency if it works. If the anonymous features are good, I mean, I don't have it. What's the problem? Unless you're in it for yourself. Speaking of which, I think I already said it, but this guy is the head of, I think I did say he's the head of a Minneapolis Federal Reserve. So again, you got the banker talking about how crypto isn't good. Yeah, he's the president of the Minneapolis Federal Reserve. I want to hear from somebody who's not a banker or billionaire with these same talking points. Again, he also said another one of the same talking points, blockchain and the underlying technology is probably more interesting. It has more potential than maybe Bitcoin does by itself. He said that last year in 2017. Absolutely. Again, trying to separate blockchain from Bitcoin. And he probably was a person back in 2016 who said blockchain wasn't even worth it at all. Because if he wasn't, why all of a sudden 2017, not only in 2017, but halfway through in May, as already the bull runs had occurred, now he's saying, well, blockchain is more interesting than Bitcoin.
Of course. There we go. And Gabriel Hernandez, great comment. Yeah, money is not supposed to be complicated. That's literally what crypto is trying to show you, is that the transfer of wealth between two people shouldn't be convoluted with thousands of papers and rules and regulations.
It doesn't need a rule book. It doesn't need a rule book.
It's done on purpose, people. I'm telling you, all that stuff is there because you make it complicated enough, then you got to go to school as a lawyer just to learn what that stuff is. That's why you have lawyers for when you go.
That's why you got school systems to do all that.
So that's what I'm saying. Make it as complicated as possible. And the thing is, it is a very complex system when you start it out as a complex system. Like if you start out by saying we're gonna have this, and this, and this, and only these certain
derivatives, and derivatives, mutual funds,
you just have more and more.
This is how simple crypto is, which I love about it. How much money is in this block? Wherever your account is, wherever your pin is, how much money is there? Do you have it? Yes or no? If you have it, transaction goes. If you don't, nothing works.
No credit where you can reverse it.
It's that simple.
Yeah,
it is that simple.
Jump through hoops. Yeah.
In this article, you can find this on CCN. I just want to mention a couple of the few statements they had at the end. They put basically look at some other tech predictions that blew up in skeptics' faces over the years. They had 1876. William Orton, the president of Western Union, was being quoted as saying the telephone has too many shortcomings to be seriously considered as a means of communication. In 1995, Robert Metcalf, founder of 3Com, was quoted as saying, I predict the internet will soon go spectacularly supernova, and in 1996 will I can't even say the word, catastrophically collapse.
Catastrophically.
Yeah, thank you. Catastrophically collapse. And in 2007, Steve Ballmer, the Microsoft CEO, this is in 2007, people, he said there's no chance that the iPhone is going to get any significant market share.
Great calls, guys.
Wow.
Way to go.
These are the people the mainstream diddly gang continues to listen to every decade.
These are people your parents and grandparents looked up to and thought was the movers of the world.
And let's not mention Warren Buffett, who also didn't even want to bet against or bet with Amazon and Google. He thought those were going to go belly up.
Yeah.
So again, when it comes to technology,
nobody knows anything.
Right. And when it comes to technology, these are definitely the last people you want to listen to. And a great comment to this story was Edward R. Galimi, who was put LOL, the Fed prints money out of thin air and crypto is a farce.
Jesus.
And they literally had tons of comments under it where everybody just agreeing like, you beat me to the punch.
Yeah, I just don't pay attention more. These dinos to me, it's like a yawn and a wave. Like, all right, bro, congrats, you got your statement out. You'll be in history later too. So
again, it would be more interesting if they were all saying something different. But the fact is, we mentioned before, I told you, I've personally done this. I've worked with the Pentagon and created these things for the military. The talking points. You literally have one theme. You have 3 messages, and they're just called talking points. You push them out. I mean, granted, this is the Federal Reserve chairman or executive president at one of the banks. They are all getting the same talking points from the main Federal Reserve. They have a PR team who are sending this out to every federal bank in the entire world. And again, federal is actually a private bank. They're just using that word. But they are sending out these talking points to the entire world. They're all coming from one source. They're all parroting the same thing. They're all saying the same thing. at the same time. So again, if you're still listening to it,
what a time to be alive.
Shame on you. All right. Now on some better news, UK Mosque opens crypto donations in National First Bitcoin Ramadan.
Oh, yeah.
The Shacklewell Lane Mosque in Dalston, East London, partnered with local blockchain startup Combo Innovation to set up Bitcoin and Ethereum wallet for a Ramadan practice of zakat, I believe it is, or almsgiving.
Yep.
Right now, this is the UK's only Turkish-owned mosque. This is huge, people, because we talked about before. What was it? Islam said that it was okay.
It was okay. Yep. Bitcoin is halal.
Bitcoin is allowed. So, of course, it's about a quarter of the world's population. So, if they do start doing this, they do start donating for Ramadan, for zakat and almsgiving on a global scale. I mean, this is just one mosque doing it in the UK, but they start doing that on a global scale.
Absolutely.
You can definitely see that reflected in the market as well.
Yeah. And I mean, anybody who has any type of cause today can raise money on their own now. They don't have to register a 501c3. You don't have to now. I mean, they may have some sort of rules, but they could literally just put out a press release. Hey, we got this cause we're doing for. Hey, if you are a part of it, you can donate. Here's our address. That's it. That's all you need in order to transfer wealth, which makes moving money easier and everything else that comes with it easier. Because once they get the money, which comes in a matter of minutes or hours, then they can go ahead and start using it instantly. They don't have to wait for it to process 3 to 7 days and then 10 days for it to go. All that's, that's too much, bro. So this is actually very good. And because it's, a UK mosque, the first of its kind, first to get there. So I'm sure people will copy them. And there's already people doing it now.
And I hate to say this, but this is going to happen. If this continues where the mosques are leading the way, and then, Islam is leading the way and Bitcoin's the law and all that's leading the way, I can guarantee you, we keep saying this,
you already know
it's going to the terrorist attack. Well, the mosques are allowing crypto.
They got rich from Bitcoin,
and the terrorists are using this. You can, that's literally going to be their go-to move. So
yeah, they already tried it with some nationalist groups. They already said that Bitcoin funded them. They tried it with some other stuff. I mean, it's going to come. So,
bro, look at this. Said Zay has on the safari hat, ready to go hunt dinos.
Yeah, it's my dino.
That is very true.
Yeah.
Crypto hunter. There we go. Gabriel Hernandez said the crypto hunter. That's a new show.
That's what they call me.
There we go. But that's big news again. Small scale mosque doing it, but again, as you always say, one small group or organization tested it out. If it works, everybody takes notes. Say we're gonna fix this, we're gonna fix that, we're gonna launch it on a large scale. So
you ain't copying, you ain't trying.
There we go. Norway central bank considering digital currency as cash use declines. Now you are gonna love this story. It kind of goes along with what I just said about all of these central banks getting this same messaging. If you think I'm lying, you're gonna know I'm telling the truth of this. But Norway Central Bank has developed a working group at Norges Bank and released a report titled, guess what the report is titled, people? Central Bank Digital Currencies. That's right, CBDCs.
Oh,
we have been talking about this now for about over 6 weeks since the first Cointelegraph article, I believe it was, mentioned the word CBDC in it, or the acronym CBDC, at least 10 or 11 times. And one article is the first time we ever saw the word.
And then all of a sudden just flooded.
And like here we go. It's everywhere. That is the new thing. But in Norway, this bank or this working group at the bank went as far as to title the entire report Central Bank Digital Currency. So again, this is coming, people. It is disgusting. It's disheartening. It's a farce.
This is a farce. These scoundrels, the
hypocrisy, all those words that they like to throw on. This is what this is. I mean, it's one of those things that it would be funny if it wasn't so sad. Of course, we're looking at it from a side where we actually see it, but imagine all those people, like you said, the beginners, people who don't know anything about it. The first thing they're going to be introduced to one day, especially the Dilly gang, is, well, why would you want to use Bitcoin? You know, you got the CBDCs now,
and the CBDCs are insured by
insured, but as far back as 2016 reports that only 6% of Norwegians are using cash on a daily basis. Again, reports coming out of the United States from that time also say it's only about 24% of people using cash on a daily basis, and a lot of those are illicit workers. We'll just say that. We'll say about 3 to 4% of that is illicit workers. So again, it's one of those things where people really aren't using cash. Norway has seen that people aren't using cash, but instead of going to Bitcoin or any other crypto, they say, hey, there's a way to centralize this. There's a money play to be made. How about we just develop a central bank digital currency. And again, for those who don't know or who have forgotten, a central bank is a private bank. It actually isn't central. It isn't a bank of the people.
It's not some bank you can vote on what happens.
Right. It is from private organizations and private people. So
and I honestly think the CBDC crowd, or the people that are going to use the CBDCs, they're going to look at it as innovation when they've been using nothing but their credit card and their phone for the last 5 or 6 years. Right. Anyway, you're using digital currency right now, people. When's the last time you felt you actually touched cash to pay rent, touch cash to pay? Most people haven't. They usually either use straight debit credit online, or they use their phone with Apple Pay or whatever, Samsung Pay or whatever you have. So it's already here. It's just who controls the ledger, controls the rules. Who controls the money, controls the power. It's very simple, people. It's so simple. It's complex to these people.
Right. And the P-Man Van actually hit on here. What's the difference to the money they have now? And that's the thing. There is no difference. If right now Bank of America, Chase, JP Morgan, all these other people, if they were to say all the money in your bank account right now online has been converted to CBDCs, there will be no difference. No difference at all.
It'll just be restrictions, like, okay, you can only take out cash once a week or something. Like, watch, they'll be like, well, you can only take out this amount. They already have it, but it'll be even worse because cash will be slowly pushed out. So
and then Ray Mata, looks like Crypto Q's answer your question. Ray basically asks, how do we think of the price of Bitcoin is being kept low? Like, who's doing it? How are they doing it? It's a combination of things. It's concerted effort, as you can see, starting with the Federal Reserve and all their banks that they have across the world, literally doing things like, hey, no credit card purchases, some banks no debit card purchases. You have all these people who control the news. You saw the one news thing that was released for all the local media outlets in the United States. I think about 256 of them were all caught saying the same things on the same days. Because again, as I just mentioned, even the local news stations who are owned by one company all have a PR team who give out the talking points. So it's a concerted effort. Not enough people know about decentralization, centralization even to begin with.
And from a trading point, there's no volume on the buy side. So and it's a few things we're waiting to see. I know a lot of the high leverage traders are getting smacked right now because of how it moves. Also, futures contracts can kind of dictate the price before it actually hits that price. So it's so many factors that go into the price. You can only look at the chart and do exactly what it's doing or what it's telling you. So as far as it being who is doing it, I wouldn't look around for people to blame every time the price goes down. Right. if that's the case, you're going to be just looking for somebody every time.
It is what it is right now. Gabriel Hernandez said, what's the best coin for fast transactions? People are used to instant transfers with cash and debit cards. That's actually not true. They don't clear it right away. Sometimes banks honor it, but perfect example, if I were to try to wire you some money right now, your bank may or may not, depending on my bank's history, accept it, or they might make it wait for a few days. And
don't even start if you're out the country.
Right. So the best coin is Doge.
No, I was just about to say
Doge. Seriously, people sleep on Doge. It actually works, people. But that's the point. It's always, even if it wasn't Doge, there's always a coin. Just look at for one who has low volume, I guess, in terms of scaling. Right now Bitcoin, Ethereum is trying to scale. Bitcoin is still extremely fast, so don't count it out. We use Bitcoin every day still. But if you don't want anything that's that mainstream, I guess, in the crypto market, then things like Dogecoin, honestly, Bitbean, Redcoin, like all these coins, like you can use them all and they would transfer fast.
That's fine.
So you gotta look around. Next up, what do we have going on? Oh, speaking of banks, now here's a positive story of a bank, something that we always say is going to use. Argentinian bank is now using Bitcoin for cross-border transactions.
All right.
Key word, using Bitcoin for cross-border transactions. They're not saying we need to experiment with the Ripple network. We need to have our own internal blockchain. We need to use CBDCs. They're saying we're just going to use Bitcoin. It's already made. It has a blockchain. It hasn't been hacked. Let's try it. Argentinian Banco Massanuttes. I might have pronounced that wrong. More likely did. Vantes.
Oh, they'd be all right.
BMV is what their acronym is, has announced a partnership with Bitex to enable clients to use Bitcoin for international payments as an alternative to SWIFT.
Word.
Again.
So Bitcoin is a payment system.
A private company. Bitcoin. Decentralized public company, basically. And the bank is saying, hey, let's just go ahead and offer our customers an alternative. To me, banks like this Argentinian bank, BMV, they're going to be the ones that actually survive this. Because they're saying, stop trying to fight it. This is what the customers want. This is what people want. It's an alternative to SWIFT. They're already saying that right now transactions can happen up to 24 hours faster right off the bat. So They're saying everything about this works. They like it. The customers like it. It's alternative to Swift, which of course is going to charge high fees, take 2 or 3 days to go to. I don't see the issue why other banks can adopt this.
Yeah. And I mean, the only issue I see here is if you're a bank, you're already centralized. So you can go ahead and do centralized stuff and nobody will care.
Right.
I do know they are using the audit firm Deloitte, which was hacked a couple months ago.
Right.
So that is the firm that'll actually have the balances and the funds and everything. So hopefully, you know, nothing bad happens there. But in you know, reality, this is as close as a bank can get to being decentralized. Is you just use Bitcoin as payments, bro. I mean, you keep trying to use these Ripple ledgers or Swift ledgers and other stuff, and then when people test blockchain or Bitcoin payments, they're always faster, always better, and it's more secure because we've got a lot of coins getting smacked. Their blockchains are getting smacked around right now.
And then even talking about banks, you can still make money. I mean, it would be fair you to say I'm gonna charge the extra whatever on every transaction. If you say it up front, people will agree to it. Whatever, cool. Yeah. Especially if all you had to do is everybody you have working at the bank, convert them over to support personnel for crypto.
Yeah.
Teach them crypto, teach them Bitcoin, blockchain, all the stuff they need to know, and just use them as support. So when there are new people coming to the space, they have questions, they can call your bank and you can answer them and get paid for doing that.
Absolutely.
So many options. But it's funny. Sergeant Crypto says, so what's the use case for Ripple? Exactly.
We've been trying to figure it out.
There is no use case for Ripple.
Unless
right here. Go ahead.
I was saying, unless you are a bank that's friends with Brad Garlinghouse, I don't see
exactly.
There's no other reason.
I mean, literally, I'm glad to finally see this. We've been hoping for it for a while, but now we actually have a bank, Argentina Banco Masvantes BMV, saying that, you know what, we're just going to use the Bitcoin network. We had another really good comment too. Hold on. Oh, Uriah Vigil.
Uriah.
What's going on? Uriah said finally caught a live show. Thank you. Please make sure you all smash that like and share button, people.
Absolutely.
All right, on some more positive news. MIT tests smart contract powered Bitcoin Lightning Network.
Oh yeah.
What is going on, MIT? Way to lead the way.
That
MIT.
is a whole lot of words,
right?
I mean, well, if you know MIT, they've been around since 2013 doing tests on blockchain technology using Bitcoin. They actually accepted Bitcoin at their school. So this isn't surprising that now they are testing payments and usage of data on the Lightning Network so that you can scale, because there are millions of transactions that they're trying to get through. You know, if you're trying to be Visa one day, you got to have millions of transactions. Right. Lightning Network does it. However, what they're basically saying is you don't have to go outside of Bitcoin to build the smart contracts. Most people think you got to have Ethereum. You got to use Ubik or Neo or something in order to get those smart contracts.
Which are good alternatives.
Exactly. Right. But their big thing is with Bitcoin, it's more to it. So it's more complex. So you can actually build out a more complex system.
Bitcoin, the internet of money.
Exactly. So you can start with Bitcoin and still work at Lightning Network, smart contracts. You can do all that stuff. So a lot of these other coins that say they're faster, who cares? We have smart contracts. So what? That's basically what MIT has proven. With
they're saying it works.
And they're saying it works.
Now they're not doing it.
They're not using real money.
Yeah, they're not using real money. It's test phase. Yeah. But they're saying from their test it works, and eventually you can scale it.
Yeah,
I mean, and that's the biggest thing. Everybody's talking about, you know, Bitcoin, crypto will work and scale. It takes time.
It takes time.
It takes time.
Yeah, I mean, Visa took. I mean, I don't know how long.
Right, Visa wasn't a 9-year company.
Yeah, and they still have problems.
So kudos to MIT. They've been doing a good job. We know we give them stuff every now and then, especially since they put the article 3 ways to destroy Bitcoin. Yeah. Even though we did say that it possibly was just a article to point out to naysayers it's not possible. Right. Yeah. So shout out to MIT. Continue to do good work. Hopefully more comes out of the study. We'll be looking for it.
Oh yeah.
All right, now let's get into the more interesting news. Bitcoin Gold hit by double spend attack. This happened last week on May 18th. CCM reported. Again, this was Bitcoin Gold, another fork off of Bitcoin. One of the things we try to remind people, I think Bitcoin Cash, Bcash today is at like $1,000. Bitcoin Gold, I haven't looked at it recently. I know it was at like 200 or 300 at one point.
Yeah.
But my point is, that's about $1,300 to $1,400 that's supposed to be on the Bitcoin network, people. All right. That money was forked off, which is why when you look at the Bitcoin price right now, and it's like a 79, 78, 8,000, sub 8,000, you have to remember about $1,400 to $1,500 of it has went to 2 other coins that tried to steal the marketing from Bitcoin. One of those is Bitcoin Gold, which we said from the jump would never work. That they didn't have a good development team, et cetera, et cetera. Thrown together at the last minute, but it had, again, the name Bitcoin and Gold was in it. It had enough people behind it to push a good marketing plan. Well, it looks like it just got hit with a double spin attack. Can you please explain to everyone what double spin attack for those who don't know?
All right. So for those of you who are new into crypto, if you have 51% ownership of the miners, meaning 51% of the supply of the money coming, you can execute a double spin attack where you send it to an address and then you withdraw it and then send it somewhere else with the same amount that you just had without actually
somebody's not getting their money.
Somebody's not getting paid. So it's basically like counterfeit money where you are paying people with fake hundreds of 20s. They didn't get paid, but say they pass it on to, they didn't get paid either. So it's basically the same thing. So this is what they are experiencing, which makes their blockchain basically incompatible with human interaction. You shouldn't use it at this point. Because any transaction you have can basically be
and it looks like the exchanges got hit with that, so it was left for the exchanges to pay the fees. They got to pay all the stuff and deal with it. So Verge got hit, Bitcoin Gold just got hit. A lot of these 51% attacks are coming from small coins that are scams to begin with. I mean, they're literally just a Bitcoin Gold was definitely a scam. The fact that it was worth more than I thought it would get. When it hit is, I mean, granted the whole market was pumping, so people really didn't know. But come on, Bitcoin Gold, that was like.
What is
that? Was between that, I think it was like Bitcoin Platinum, Bitcoin Diamond came on right after.
Diamond, Bitcoin,
it's ridiculous.
Dark been out for a while.
But again, you talk about Bitcoin Gold and why people use it or whatever, and it's been hit with this double spin attack. What's the one blockchain that's been around the longest that hasn't been hit with anything, that still hasn't been hacked, that still has the bug bounty on it? If anyone does hack it, who can get millions of dollars, which it hasn't been recovered. I think it's Bitcoin Network.
Pretty sure
Bitcoin is. That's why it's still what it is, people. And we're not even trying to be Bitcoin maximalists. It's just saying that
it's the longest and strongest.
That's it. There you go. And speaking of Bitcoin Gold, here was an interesting story. Verge and Bitcoin. You know, we talked about Verge yesterday, it being hacked. But one person wrote an opinion editorial today, I think it was on CCN as well, made a great point. They were like, China ranked Verge and Bitcoin as 13th together. And we kind of said this is China back to their old games. Of course, they ranked Ethereum up there. Neo, of course, is up there. But the fact that they ranked a blockchain, a coin has been hacked twice right next to Bitcoin tells you everything you need to know about it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
that report is dead in the water.
Right. That report is done. Manipulation at its finest. It's a shame. I mean, here, business idea, people, let's have some type of decentralized reporting agency on crypto. It's clearly we needed. The Credit Suisse one in the US didn't do it. Clearly Chinese don't know what they're doing either when it comes to it. But I mean, that's amazing. They literally ranked it 13th together, and like 3 days later got hacked.
And it's hacked and it's gone. Yeah. That's amazing, people. Things that can happen in China.
Right.
But also, too, I want to mention with Bitcoin Gold, the meeting.
Oh, yeah, we did forget that.
I would say, if you didn't see this video, I don't know when the video came out, but I just saw it for the first time yesterday. Bitcoin Gold was having a meetup, and Craig Wright showed up, who everybody knows. He said he was Satoshi. That's been later proven that he's not. He showed up, and they actually had security escort him out of the Bitcoin Gold meeting, which is hilarious that they got hit with a 51% attack. Because to me, timeline-wise, if that meeting was around the time that this happened, Craig Wright could be saying to them, "Hey, don't kick me out of your meetings unless you want this to happen to you," because he's got enough money to do it.
Push the button.
They said it took a lot of money to do it.
Push the button.
Yeah, so
they did say it took a lot of money
to do it,
to hack the Bitcoin Gold or to do the double spin attack.
Yeah, and what reason would somebody have to do that to Bitcoin Gold?
Unless you
Bitcoin
publicly embarrass someone.
Publicly kick them out. But that's one of those that's one of those little tidbits of crypto you got to know. Bitcoin Gold, scammers calling out scammers, but we'll say when he left, the way he was like, "Goodbye, fake Toshi," is sort of like the "good day, sir, you win nothing." Like it was like the easiest way to look at scammers, going at each other. But hey, that's crypto for you.
Timmy T said, "Do we think Bitcoin won't be widely adopted until it becomes more stable as far as price goes, and how long would that be?" Well, Bitcoin is already stable. 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin. People keep forgetting that.
It's a new currency.
Whenever you compare it to say the dollar, the euro, whatever, and it keeps going up in price, that's not Bitcoin going up in price. That is the dollar being devalued. So when it went up to $20,000 last year, that meant people at the beginning of the year thought the dollar was worth $1,000 worth of Bitcoin. By the end of the year, it took $20,000 for 1 Bitcoin. Again, the price of Bitcoin didn't change. The value of the dollar changed. So,
and the speculative part of it is it has to happen. Like people think this speculation, oh, it's just a speculative asset. It's only just no. That's how every asset starts. You have to start there because people have to actually think, what will the price be later? What am I willing to pay for it now? So it has to happen. This is natural growing pains. And then as soon as, like we've said before, as soon as something happens, like with the banks, which we'll discuss in a second, as soon as the dollar starts getting devalued and people have to use Bitcoin to make payments, that's when you say, okay, this is a payment system completely. And as a store of value, pretty good.
We already said when Bitcoin is worth $50,000 to $100,000 USD, you won't want to trade it, people, because you can go get a job and make that money. You can't make that many Bitcoin.
Can't make that many Bitcoin.
And this, I mean, crypto is the future. So whether it's Bitcoin or not, it's going to be in crypto. And you want something that will be able to trade against crypto, not against fiat currency. Then the other thing, I mean, great point, Gabriel Hernandez. He said nothing is unhackable; it just takes longer to figure out. That's true. Even crypto, even Bitcoin, you're right. But the amount of money and resources it takes to hack it, I think I saw somebody says it. It just right now, it's just not worth it. And even if somebody were to do it, it would take like literally mass organization from like almost a governmental or nation state perspective. At this point, it will cost billions of dollars. And even if you were to hack the network, say for a double spin, you literally would probably only have about 10 minutes to do it before another node realized something was wrong with the blockchain and reversed it. So it's just, I mean, like I said, nothing is unhackable. You're right. But it's just not worth it right now for anybody to do it.
Let's see.
They'll lose a lot of money and probably catch a couple of heart attacks on the way.
That for real. I was gonna say that would be one of those people that have to be an alien attack. But yeah, Marcus, you can answer the Bitcoin question today on Facebook now. We're starting to get just as many views on there as we are on YouTube. So answer on both. I'll be going back and forth now. So you can win on both platforms. So yeah. All
right. Here we go. Last but not least, this is a huge story, very important. It's one of those stories that slid or may possibly slide on the radar, but it looks like the Dodd-Frank Act has been rolled back. What's the Dodd-Frank Act and what's going on with it?
Well, in 2008, Dodd-Frank Act was passed in order to limit the bank's ability to use your money for investments, for wild investments.
It was passed after.
It was passed after the crash of 2008. This was basically to rein in, or to try and rein in banks, even though they still got their bonuses, so to say. But the Dodd-Frank Act basically it regulates big banks, small banks, whatever, and it keeps them from being able to do basically whatever they want with your money, because they're legally obligated, or legally they can hold your money. They are custodials. They have a custodial service, so they can actually operate. But with Dodd-Frank, what that actually does is give them responsibility with it. Because if they don't have responsibility, trust me, they're going to do whatever they want. They can invest in, the same stuff they did before, housing market that crashed, payday loans can come back now. All of this stuff that happened pre-2008 can actually come back now with the new rollback of the Dodd-Frank Act. And I think the new act is called the Choice Act. And the House just actually passed that. So I would keep an eye on that, because from a economic standpoint,
you can't trust them.
Usually whenever I do any presentations, I always ask, who here thinks there will never be another recession? And of course, nobody raises their hand. Right. And then I say, so what happens when that happens?
Because we haven't seen
Bitcoin in a recession. So
that's the thing. People keep forgetting. We haven't seen anything negative, like on a global scale, at least coming from the United States and Europe point of view. We haven't seen anything bad while Bitcoin's been alive. The market's been outstanding since Bitcoin's been alive. The Dow's breaking records. As we continue pointing out for some of our new viewers, we've been seeing a lot of cracks in that the last 6 months. We don't think it has a lot of time left before it eventually breaks, but we've been seeing a lot of cracks. We haven't seen anything bad though. Like you said, we haven't seen a recession or anything like that. So when that day happens, because it will happen, I mean, we've been nonstop pumping since 2008, since we printed out a bunch of fake money and gave it to bankers, who in turn literally gave us those bonuses. We haven't seen anything bad happen. So yeah, that day that happens, that's when it's really gonna get interesting.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, can't wait.
Other than that, what are we doing for Free Bitcoin Day?
Oh yeah, so for the Free Bitcoin, let's keep this conversation going with the banks. What exactly do you think this Choice Act will do? How will it affect crypto? Leave your public address and we'll send that free Bitcoin. And yes, you can put it on Facebook as well. So please put your public address and we'll send you that free Bitcoin.
All right. Thanks for watching as always. And we will catch you all tomorrow at 10-ish.
At 10-ish.
Happy hump day.
Thanks, people.
Cheers.